hidden cost of Christmas tree. I'm talking about the environmental issues such as disposal. What is in the end better, the fake or the real ones? And I also give you in the end options of what you can use, can be alternative, and in the end, which is better, one of those options. I'm happy that you're stopping by on this channel. I'm Nina here on Ladies Mental. I talk about minimalism, slow living, and also financial and sometimes just facts that I'm interested in and want to push out on YouTube. So the first thing that I'm touching on is the environmental issues. It takes a lot of land to grow trees and often it cuts into ecosystem. Plus on top of that, a lot of farms are using chemical pesticides and fertilizer which are harmful for the nearby water and soils. And that's just one thing for the environmental. Another thing I can say about it is it takes up to 10 years to get the perfect Christmas tree on the average size that we're looking for in our house, in our cozy living room. So in that time, they're using a lot of equipment, getting the fuel, and all that will add up to the greenhouse emissions to our world. And with that comes also the transportation and the shipping. The trees have a long distance till they get to the cities. So by just transporting one tree for around 500 miles, it takes up to 16 pounds of CO2 emission for that whole process till it gets to your city. And often they're traveling such a long way for the Nordic countries. They're cut off months before you're getting it in your hometown. They might be already drying out or have some damages along the way. Of course, they're trying their best to sell still the quality, but things can happen if the shipping along the way. And all of that, just those facts, they're adding on to the carbon footprint. And after the holiday season is finished, what about the disposal? There are coming also challenges with that, from the transportation and just the maintaining of the factories and the farms itself. If you're not recycling or composting them correctly, they're releasing methane gas. That's a potential greenhouse effect in the end. So often trees land after the holiday season in the landfills. And if they're not really taken care of correctly, they release that toxic gases which are very not perfectly for our environment. So just keep also in mind, where are you disposing them? Where are they going? Are they gonna get burned? Finding also those little steps that we're not always thinking about it, of the after effects of the composting and the recycling afterwards. That's something I would say, keep that also in mind, and especially that happened with the real trees, with the normal Christmas trees we're getting every year. That will be almost every household has a Christmas tree, or every second, or whatever you want to specify that now. What in the end is the benefit of getting an artificial tree? First of all, it's very convenient. You have no needling, no watering needed. You can set it up so quickly. People might not have allergies to it. It's often as well pet friendly if you're going for a good quality. So you have a lot of convenience with that. It's so versatile. You can customize it to the size of your house or in the corner, wherever you want to place it in your house. And if you're getting a good one that can last up to 10-20 years, instead of cutting down or let cut off for you a tree every year, you're having the tree already in your home. You can store it, and often you can downsize them in a pretty decent way that you can store them in your attic or wherever you want. And a funny story is, like, I grew up with artificial trees. Like, for me, it is so normal, and I never even questioned it as a kid that it is still something that brings me joys. And nowadays I see so many varieties out there of trees. Like, they have sometimes snow on it, and I just, even the other day I saw one that has like a mechanism like that goes up each section on its own, so you don't have to do anything. You're just clicking on it with the remote or something like that. And for me, it was never a problem of having a fake one, because I knew in my town, my home square, there was a big, huge tree that I could adore. We also had Christmas markets around, so the festive mood was always there. And if I really wanted to see the trees, I just went to the nearby woods and yeah, cherished them in their natural habitat. For me, a tree can be there where he feels alive and where he naturally goes and thrives. But also, I'm not neglecting even the fake Christmas trees. They also take some production and have all those gases, and in the end, I'm not neglecting that. Everything that we produce lets something out. But in the long run, and that's the thing, in the long run, they will sort you out way better. So what about the cost now of the artificial ones? We make like a little setup. So if you're buying a Christmas tree every year for around 70 euros approximately, that can be 140 in 2 years. But what if you what if you decide this year you get an artificial one for 150? It might be more than you usually paid, of course, but if you're adding that for 1, 2, 3 years, in the long run, you're paying less. And you have less time to be spending picking out the perfect tree, less of transportation to bring your Christmas tree home, and at the same time the disposal. So instead of putting all that effort in of buying a new one, you bought it once and have it kind of forever, hopefully, for your house and for your seasonal decorations. And something funny that I just want to share also is it is like when you're having a fake Christmas tree, you can use it also for different things around the year. Like in Switzerland, you have the carnivals in the end of winter till the spring season. So you or my family had like a theme or a topic that they wanted to go for, and they needed a Christmas tree. So instead of getting a real one, like my mom said, oh yeah, I have one, so let's grab that one. So you can use it around the year for multiple purposes, such as theaters or any kind of occasion you want to touch on. And they can be used for that. And the real one, it might be not that accessible to get that so convenient. And I just found that a very funny story to share that with you. Point number 3, I want to touch on the issues with the Christmas industry. As you know, or you might not know, I'll tell you now, is there is a high, very, very high standard in making the Christmas trees. They have to be a certain length, they have to be a certain wideness, they have to be round shaped in a basically perfect. They should be spotless. But as we know, Mother Nature might not be always so perfect in the way that we humans want. And I can tell that from my own experience. I worked in the customer service and was also selling Christmas trees. And let me tell you, certain peoples, they were obsessed with getting the perfect Christmas trees. They took minutes to pick out the perfect tree, twisted them, looked upside down. Was almost ridiculous sometimes to see. But also, when they found the perfect one, or they think they found the perfect one, I often saw people coming back complaining, hey, that tree is not perfect. Look, here is one branch missing. Hey, I want a refund. I want another one. And I was thinking, when did we start to be so picky about Mother Nature? If you want a perfect tree, get a fake one. Get a fake one. They are perfectly made of. You can customize it, bend even the branches the way you want. Mother Nature is designed for different purpose, of course, for aesthetic and all that. I'm not neglecting it, and I also find beauty in the imperfection. And having the Christmas tree also for that, like it has a symbol of it. But we're getting so obsessed for that kind of reasons. And I just want to touch that on, because that also affects the farmers. because the tree is not telling them how they're gonna grow. I mean, there is a little way of helping them or get the correct length and all that, make them symmetrical, but in the end they're producing way more that they might not need, for also the reason that there will be trees underneath them that will not suit the standard, and that will be still shipped even though it might not be that perfect, or they will be cut down even though they will not be shipped. So there will be waste regardless of what's going to happen to them. And if we're not being that perfectionist anymore, I think those trees have a better chance. And a small detail also about the Christmas industry, labor challenges. For Christmas farms, that will be a seasonal work. I can imagine it's a very tough and rough season of long hours in the cold, might getting even paid very low for that amount of workload they do, but they have to take it because they're living in the area where they need the workers. So it's kind of, you're just getting there. But on the other hand, if we're talking about the artificial ones, we have manufacturers and they are running through the whole year, and they're not depending on any seasonal change or economics. It can be globalized wherever the production may go. That can have a stable income compared to the Christmas farms that have obviously the seasonal thing. Like, no one wants a Christmas tree in summer. Not that I know, at least. Never mind about that, but it's just something that I want to keep awareness of. Yeah, so now what about the carbon footprint? Which is now better, the artificial or the real ones? So it turns out if you use an artificial tree for up to 5 to 10 years, it is more sustainable than a real one. It's more eco-friendly and better for our planet and less of a footprint. And if we're comparing that to a study of 2018, a Christmas tree annually leaves a carbon footprint double of that of an artificial one that has been used for 10 years. So I think that really states what is the better option, isn't it? So now where is that gonna lead us with that information? I give you some tips of what you can use and make it more sustainable for either the options of artificial or not. Starting with the real one. As we all know, they're gonna die. So what if you have still the option, you can't go without a real tree, which I totally understand. Like, it's just how our culture is, and I love them as much as everyone. But there is another way that you can use. Get trees that have the soil, that are potted. Get a Christmas tree that is with the earth. So you have the option to put it out of your terrace, have it permanently always there, and it will not die. The same can go for your balcony. You can use it all year round. And even in Switzerland, I know there is an option that you can even rent them, or you can give them to the gardener after Christmas. It's kind of like a next change, or you can give it back to the gardener and next year you're gonna get it. It's kind of like a little renting fee. That could be a very good option of the long lasting in the long run. But if you want still one inside, I'll blend it in the video, is still pine trees also in the soil, but they are a different kind. So they still have the needles and everything, but they're more climatically adapted to warmer surroundings, so to speak. So it's still in the soil. It might be even a smaller one or not that big, but you can build up something. As an option could be that you're taking a branch, like a stick kind of, put some branches and creating your Christmas tree, or you taking little bowls or pots or something and create their little arrangements. That can be also a very good option or hanging some branches from your roof, and they're creating a Christmas tree. That's really something I would say is a better option of just getting branches or longer lasting options, but still be in the natural way of not using plastic or any chemicals, so to speak. But what if you said, look, in the end, I want a Christmas tree, I want something that I can last, and artificial can be the choice for you. Nowadays, you have so many options of quality, size, so just keep a bit in mind of what kind of quality, of what kind of material getting, what plastic is it made out, that your kids or animals are not going to be affected from the chemicals. So just keep that a little bit in mind. If there are any toxins in that, it shouldn't be. Nowadays they're made up very well, and they have also some certification that needs to be. In short way, we can say just invest in a good one, in a good quality that lasts you hopefully through your whole life. So by that, I really hope that you can make your holiday season more intentional of your choices and how you're gonna celebrate it. Keep that in mind, and if you want to share that with someone else that might be interested to hear, do so. And leave me in the comments, what are you been growing up with Christmas tree? What type of Christmas tree do you use? What traditions? I would be so curious. Thank you so much for your time, and see you the next time. Thank you. Bye.